Hi, sunshines. How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? This right here is very technical. Like, setting up is very, 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 very technical. But how are you? I hope everyone started to practice and did a little bit of crocheting so that it'll be easier for you to do today. We're going to do a little bit of review. We're going to review what we did last week and then try to do something um, a little bit different so that you can make something. So we want to make our goal of doing like a dishcloth or washcloth or um, a pot holder. So that's going to be our goal. And our goal is to eventually like work our way up. So it will be from a pot holder, and then it could be a scarf, it could be a baby blanket, it may be a bigger blanket. Is We're just gonna start off step by step. So right now, we should know how to do chains. We should know how to do single crochet, and the single crochet we're just going to keep making steps. So baby steps. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's go over what we have learned last week. We learned how to do holding our yarn a certain way, how holding our hook a certain way. We learned that. We learned how to do slip knot, and we learned how to do chains. And then we get a little bit into single crochet. We're gonna go more into that today. So let me bring out the goodies and let's go over that again so that we know how to move on. I see some older ladies up in here. They just ready for their class. Their class started at 7 o'clock though. But you want to learn how to crochet, you learn how to crochet. It's okay. It's okay. I am also working differently now. I had to set up a whole new thing now because my actual computer on Mondays, I'm scared to use it right now. It's working. I'm scared to use it because it keeps turning off. So also have two other cameras now, but I didn't set them up yet because that other computer is working. So now I'm using one computer and my cell phone. So I'm limited, but we can still get the party started. We can still get a party started. Okay, so let me set up the camera so we can do the review for today, and then we can keep on going with how we are going to keep doing those crochets so that you can make something larger than a pot holder. So by next week, you should be able to make a scarf or um, a blanket. But let's work baby steps. So of course, I gotta have purple yarn. Every week I gotta have a different type of yarn. And this week I am using my pretty, pretty, pretty Caron yarn. Caron is my middle name. So of course I have to use that. Of course I do. So who do I see in the chat? I see Amaris. I see Anderson, Amanda, and Angie. I don't have my glasses on. I see you. I see you. I see you. How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? But yeah, this is for the newer ones who want to know how to crochet. Okay, so we're gonna go over. Let me move the camera so that you can see. There we go. All we have to do is move the camera over a little bit. so you can see my hands better, and then I'm gonna move the light so you can see the light. Okay. Make sure. Okay, here we go. Okay, so how do we start? We are going to make sure we put our hands down. Let me move this up a little bit. Move it up a little bit so you can see my hand better. Okay, so we're going to start with how we are going to hold our yarn. I don't know why it's like this. It should be better than this. I don't like how it's sitting. It should be better than this. Leave it to technology, right? Leave it up to technology. I have 4 cameras, and this is what I have to use, my cell phone. Isn't that crazy? 4 cameras. But one computer went down and everything wants to go down. But it's okay because I'm still ready to teach. Okay, so we're going to put our hands out. And we put our hands out like this. We want to make sure that your yarn is all on flat. Wherever you want to put it, you're stable until you get used to knowing how your yarn and your hand is supposed to be. This is what we're going to do first. So we're going to take our hand and turn it over. Turn it over, and then you take your pinky and you put it around, your yarn around your pinky. Okay? Then we are going to turn it around. When you turn it around, you're going to use your pointer finger and put the yarn around your pointer finger like this. And then this is how it's supposed to be. This is how your yarn is supposed to look. Once you pick it up, this is how it's supposed to be in your hand. So when you are making your project, you're able to take your fingers and hold it. And the reason why we usually wrap it around is so that it's easy to go in and out. This is what holds your tension. So you have a finger here, and as you're pulling, this is going to hold your tension so that when you are crocheting, it's not too tight and not too loose, because this is how we're going to do it. Okay, so now we went over that from last week. We're going to go over how to do the slip knot. So the slip knot is just like how we spoke last week. It's like tying a shoe when you are making the rabbit ears. So when you're making rabbit ears, you want to make sure that you have the loop. Make sure you have a loop. And you are not going to use the tail. You're going to use the yarn that's coming from your skein of yarn. It's called skein of yarn. Not a ball of yarn, but skein of yarn. So you're going to take your hook, go in your loop, and you're going to pull up a loop. When you pull up a loop, all you're going to do is just pull down on it a little bit. That's all you need to do. That's it. It's easier than tying a shoe. I'm going to do it one more time. We're going to go over it one more time. You should know it from last week, but sometimes you don't know. Okay, so make your loop. Make it too big. Make your loop. Put your hook inside. and then you're going to take the yarn that is coming from your skein, your ball. That's what you're going to use to pull up. Let me do it again. I'm doing it the way I'm usually doing it. Okay, so now you're going to take the loop and pull up with your hook and pull through. Once you pull through, then you're going to have your slip knot. Now, what you're going to do is put your hook in and take your strings and pull it. When you pull it, it's going to get tight on your hook, and that is how we are going to start, because you're going to make sure that it's nice and loose enough so that you can move it up and down, and you don't want it too tight. So that's how we're going to start out. That's your slip knot. So we did holding your yarn, making sure you have good tension. Okay, we're doing a slip knot. Next, we're going to do a chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook on the back of the hook on the string of the yarn. So make sure that your pointer finger is up and is sticking up like that. And you're going to take your hook, back of your hook, and put it on your yarn. And then you're going to like turn it away from you a little bit. And when you do that, your hook is automatically going to grab the yarn. Once it grabs the yarn, you're going to turn it back to you and then pull through that loop. And you're just going to keep on doing it. You're going to put it on the string, turn the hook, and turn it back to you and pull it through. And you're just going to keep on going. And that's how you are doing your chains. That's how you do your chains. Okay? So once we got our chain, we are going to do 10 chains. Okay? So far I did 1. How do I know what's the chain? The chain is a V. It's going to look like this. So what you're going to do is find your V's. Find your V's, and once you find your V's, that's what you're going to count. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to do 2 more, 9, and 10. So that's 10. You have 10 chains. Now, we spoke about this last week. In order to do your project, you must go up a level. You have to go up a level. When you go up a level, it's gonna be like going up the stairs. So right now we're in the basement. We need to go to the first floor. You know how when you build a house and you need the foundation, you need to have the floor at the bottom. That's what the chains are. But we need to go upstairs to the first floor. So in order to go upstairs, we need that level. We need to go 1 chain up. Let's go 1 more chain. Like that. And that's it. Now we have 11. So we are going to do 10 single crochets. We have 11 chains because we need that extra chain, which is called a turning chain. We need that extra one, like a stair step, to go up. We need to go 1 thing up. Once we do that 1 floor up, then you're ready to go and work on the first floor. Now, like we spoke about last week, where do we put our hook? Where do we start a single crochet? We are going to see the V's here, but when you turn it around, you see little bumps, little bumps on the back. That's where we're going to put our that's where we're going to put our hook and make our stitches. Now, some people go in these, but to be honest with you, you're doing exactly that. You're just turning it around and making it a little bit easier for you so that you know exactly which one you're going into and you don't get confused over the V's. I use the humps. The humps on the back is what help you know which chain is which chain. And remember, counting is key. Counting is key. Okay, so now that we did the second stair and we're on the first floor, now that we're on the first floor, we do not count that one. We can't count that one because that's the one that we need to go up to the next one. So now that we're on the first floor, we have to skip that first one and go to the second one. The second one from our hook is this one right here. Now, if you start reading patterns, a lot of patterns would tell you to start on the second one from the hook. Well, this is your hook, right? And this one right here is our second chain from that hook. So here's the first one and here's the second one. So if you're not sure, what you can do is just count from the bottom up. And when you count from the bottom up, you'll know that we need 10. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And there you go. You go to the one that you, here it is. You go to the one that you, which is the second one. You go into the one that you need to go into. So once we go in to that bump on the back, we're going in. When you go in, you're going to do the same thing that you did with the chain, and you're going to put your hook back on that yarn and turn it a little. When you turn it, it's going to yarn over. So the yarn is going to go over your hook, and then you're going to pull through that chain. Once you pull through that chain, you're going to have two loops on your hook. And then we're going to do the same thing. Yarn over again and pull through both. And that is our single crochet. Don't look much of anything, and you may be even confused. Your bricks forming. You're going in, yarn over, and pull through 2. So you're forming your single crochet. You're going into the bump, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so you're going to do that 10 times. I hope you guys practiced. I hope you guys practice. And you just keep on going until you get to the end. And counting is key because you don't want your project to be either a triangle, it's going to start getting really, really, really small at the top, or you don't want it to get wide at the top. So counting will help you. Okay, so now we got 2 more. You're going in, yarn over, pull up 1 loop, yarn over, you're pulling through 2. And that is how you do a single crochet. This is the first floor, the single crochet first floor. So now we need to go again. We need to keep on going. We need to go up another floor. So when we go up again, we're going to yarn over and pull through that loop, and that is the stairs for our second floor. We don't count it. We're just using it as our turning chain to our next floor. So now what we're going to do is turn your work like as if you're turning a page in a book. Turn. So once you go there, you're going to see those V's again. When you see those V's, those are the stitches, your single crochet stitches. And that is what we're going to use to go and make our second floor single crochet. Okay, so now let's get our yarn ready. And now we're going to go into that first loop. Not loop, we're going to the first stitch. So this is our turning chain right here, the stair step to the second floor. We're going in between the V's. Go in between the V's. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both. And then you are making another single crochet, but it's going to be on the second floor. So now let's go through the next one. You're going in, yarn over, pull up one, yarn over, pull through both. Now, how do you know where you're putting your hook? So, like I said, this is your V's at the top. That's your single crochet. You are going to put your hook right in between. So when you put your hook in, you're going to see the V's at the top. So it's going to look like two strings, two pieces of yarn at the top, but really it's the V's. The V's are looking like this now. It's going to be a closed V. Okay, so that is where you're going to put your yarn, and that will be for the whole entire thing. So once you do that, this is basically the motion that you're going to use the whole entire time until you are finished your project. So in order to make a pot holder or a dishcloth, I would do at least 15 to 20 chains. But with this, I did it a little bit smaller just so that you could get a hang of going to each floor. I want you to get the hang of going to each floor. As long as you know how to do the chains, as long as you know how to do the single crochet, and how you could get onto the next floor, you should be fine. But I just want you to get a little comfortable with going to the second floor. So do anyone have any questions before I move on? I want to make sure that I'm not going too fast. I wanted to also go over last week. So this is basically what we did last week, and that's when we stopped. So now we're going to keep on going. And it's basically the same thing, to be honest with you. It's the same thing, it's the same motion. We just keep on going up until you get to the last one. When you get to the last one, that is what we're going to work on today, because you have a whole entire week and you can work on this. So when you finish, you want to be able to say, I made this washcloth, or I made this pot holder. Okay, so now we're going to do it again. We're going to chain one. I did it. It's a habit. I'm sorry. I automatically did it. I automatically did it. I automatically did it. You're gonna chain one again, so you could go to the next floor. So now we're gonna go on the third floor. Okay, now we're gonna turn. You turn your work. When you turn your work, we are going to take our hook and go into that very, very, very first Here it is, that very first stitch, and it's right there. And we're going to yarn over and pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through both, and go again. Go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. Again, yarn over, sorry, you're going to go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. And you're going to do that 10 times. Okay, so that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So don't worry about if it's not looking like mine. Don't worry about it if it's lopsided. Don't worry about it if it's holy, or if it's loose, if it's too tight. Don't worry about that right now. Right now, what you need to do is just keep going in the motion so you can get used to that motion. Don't worry about mistakes right now. Don't worry about none of that, because none of that matters right now. What matters is if you are what matters is for you to learn how to do single crochet and how you are going to go to each row. Once you get that down pat, and once you are familiar with how you do your chains and your turning chain and your single crochet, then we can start working on mistakes and how to stop your mistakes and how to change this and change that. But right now, we just want to make sure you know how to do it. That's all. We just want to make sure you know how to do it. All right, so like I said, any questions? Um, I see a question, but I don't know. I think that was when I was doing the I think that's when I was doing the turning chain to get to the next floor. So that I'm saying that I'm talking like as if we're building a house. I'm talking as if we're building a house. The crochet lingo for what I just said is the chains, and then the knot is the slip knot, and then you're going to do the single crochet, and then the turning chain, and yarn over. So when I say you're gonna put your hook in, so when I see, let me show you the reason why we do this turning chain. This is exactly, I don't want to lose my train of thought. I don't want to lose my train of thought. But when I try to use the loop that we had from the second floor, when I try to do that and go into that first one, it's a little bit of a stretch and it's kind of hard. And I have a really good hook. I'm not saying it's not possible, but to make your life a little bit easier, a chain doesn't hurt. Going up to the second floor. So when you are going to do the next stitch, which is the double crochet, I think the next stitch is a half double crochet. So when you are doing the half double crochet, that is, you're going to really need to do that turning chain. You really should do the turning chain regardless, but I noticed that some people don't do it. But I am going to tell you the way I was always taught, and I was always taught to make sure you have that turning chain because it's easy to turn. That's exactly why you call it a turning chain. So make sure you do your turning chain, and when you start doing crocheting a little bit more, you'll know whether or not you need it or not, because some people crochet a little bit loose and don't need to, but the turning chain is actually something that It's not just good to get to the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, but it also helps your edges, your sides of your work. So get into the habit of doing your turning chain. So when I tried to do the turning chain without it, it just would not reach the way I wanted it to reach. So once I did it, then here we go. So as I'm going, make sure that it's not too loose. Because if it's too loose, then you're going to go like this. You see? You see what I'm doing? And then it's going to probably come out. And then if you do get a chance to get it in there and do it, you're going to have a loopy edging. You don't want to do that. The best thing to do is, the reason why we have our hand here on the yarn like this is because it is our tension tamer. It tames our tension. So all we need to do is just pull on it a little bit, just so that this knot can get closer to our hook. So now we're going to go in, yarn over, pull up a loop. So you got the two on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both. So that's what I was going to say. The last crochet link, the crochet lingo that we use is yarn over. So when you go in, you're going to yarn over. Yarn over, like I was saying earlier, is basically the yarn is going over your hook so that you're able to pull it up. And then yarn over again and pull through both. That's all it is. That's all it is to it. Yarn over. Go in, yarn over, pull up one, yarn over, pull through two. Go in, yarn over, pull up one, yarn over, pull up two. And you're going to go to the very end after you complete your 10. Just make sure you have your 10 and you're good to go. Your 10 stitches will complete the end of that row. And once you get to the end of that row, we are going to chain 1 to go up to the next row, which is the fourth floor. It's going to be the fourth floor. Okay, so now we're going to turn like we're turning a page in a book. And then now you're on the fourth. And then you're going to do that. So while we're doing this, is there any questions? While we're live, I can show you live. If you have any questions regarding anything that we did last week or today. So I'm going to do this for 10 rows. This is only a swatch, just so that you can see how I close off. So that when you complete your project and you start over, you're going to know how to start it and finish it. Okay, so now I'm on the 5th floor. And on the 5th floor, I'm basically, this is me going a little quickly. This is not as quick as I usually can go, but it's hard to do that underneath a camera. But soon, if you're not doing it now, and if you're doing it now, I want to see who you are. Are you the next prodigy? If it's a kid, I want to see. I want to see. I have to see. I need to see. I need to see who's the next crochet prodigy. Because it is a little kid out there that they call a crochet prodigy. I've never really saw him crochet at all. But he's the prodigy kid for crocheting. So I'm pretty sure there could be more prodigy kids out there. I know it is. Some crochet prodigy kids. And for adults, this right here is so relaxing. You ever go somewhere where you have to be there for hours? You ever go traveling where you have to be there? You're going to be on the train, or you're going to be on a plane, or you're going to be in a car for hours and hours and hours. Let me tell you something. This right here saves my life every single time. Every single time it saves my life. Because there's a lot of angry people out there. And if they crochet and you leave them alone and let them crochet, they're not angry. They're not angry at all. They are really content and busy at work, letting their hands move and not letting anyone bother them because they're in their zone, they're in their moment. This is our moment. This is a crocheter's dream, to be somewhere and not have anybody bother us and just be in our zone. And so this right here, if you're not doing anything on the side, if you want to do a good hobby, or even if you want to start a business, kids or adults, this right here is something that I never in my life thought I would be where I'm at today. Where I can actually wake up in the morning and say, I want to make $200 today. And then you make the $200. So this saved my life. And it may save yours. Okay, so now we're on the 7th floor. We're going to go to the 7th floor now. Well, I am. I'm going to the 7th floor. I want to show you how you close off. And what we call it is finish off. That's what a crocheter call it. A crocheter says finish off. But how do we finish this and go on to your next project? So when you finish this, then you could do your pot holder or your washcloth. So what I would say for a pot holder or washcloth is do 15 to 20, 15 to 20 chains, and then 15 to 20 single crochets, and do it all the way up to 15 to 20. So whatever chain you start, that's how many rows you're going to go up, how many floors you're going to go up. So just keep in mind, if you're going to do 20, you just need to go up 20 floors. Now, how in the world will you know how many rows do you have? How many rows do you have? How are you going to know? Let me tell you something. I still have a problem with single crochet. I still, to this day, have a problem counting single crochet, because with single crochet, it's the single line. You'll see, when you see double crochet and half double crochet, you'll see a difference. Each stitch shows differently. But with the single crochet, it's a little bit hard. So the bottom, that's always counted as one, of course. Then you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I done miscounted already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's counting 8. I didn't realize I did that many. I'm counting 8 of them. Wow. I didn't realize I was crocheting that quick. So what you can do is, a lot of the kits that I have in the description box, the kit has a counter. You could do a crochet counter, which is the row counter. You can count how many rows you have. And that helps if you're doing like a really large blanket and you want to know how many rows you did. Instead of counting it, your counter can tell you. You can write it down, like write down how many rows you just completed, or you could just count it. Sometimes though, when counting and you stop and you keep going, I'm not good with it, but you may be able to remember. I'm not good at it, so I either have to write it down or I need to have the counter. Now I do have the counter, but I don't always use the counter because the counter that I have is like an old version counter. I need something that I could put on my finger, because they have different types. They have a small one, they have a little larger one, they have the ones that's a ring, and all you have to do is click on it. Because I crochet so quickly with my projects, I just need something to go click and then keep on going, then click and then keep on going. But there's different ones out there. If you want to be a true crocheter, you want to be that crocheter that just keeps zooming and making a whole bunch of awesome projects, then there's one out there that does it for you. You don't even have to do absolutely anything. It actually says you just completed the first row, because I think you have to add how many you're gonna do. So if you're gonna do 10 single crochets, you're gonna put in there that you're gonna do 10 single crochets, and it counts as 10 single crochets. I don't know where that's at. I don't have that. I'm gonna look it up, because that's something that I would love to do. Someone told me about it. I've still, to this day, I've never saw it, but I'm pretty sure it's still out there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our scissors, because we did our 10 floors, and we're going to take our scissors, and what I would do is I would snip it not too short, but I would make it a little long so that you can get used to it. But me, I probably would do it a little less than this. Uh, this size is probably good for me, but maybe double that. I have a, where is it? I have a, you don't need it, but in the kit that I had put in the description, there's a gauge ruler to tell you how many inches your project is. You could use that as well, and I would do at least 4 to 5 inches if you use the ruler. If not, just something a little bit long so that you don't have to worry about having a little string. So I have I have this, but I use this as well. For the kids, either way, there's no, either one. There's no point. It doesn't stick you, because this is not material. This is yarn. So with the yarn, we always go in the stitches, so you do not have to worry about this sticking you. I put in a description for the plastic ones, but it's up to you if you want to be fancy and get this one, which is the metal one. It's up to you. It's the same difference. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our loop, the one that we just finished, and pull it out. You're going to pull out that string. Pull it, pull it, pull it until you finish, till it came out. And now we're going to put it through our plastic or whatever. This is called a darning needle, or it's called a tapestry needle. Either way, it's a needle. Like, you can't sew with it, so I wouldn't say sewing needle, but it's called darning, which is DARNING, or tapestry. Tapestry is something that you crochet with a bunch of different colors. You're changing colors. So I guess that's what they call it. I didn't make it up. It's not me. I didn't do it. So we're going to take this and go in. So what we're doing is we're just going in and pulling out. That's it. We're just going in and pulling out. I personally will go in between the stitches. So in between here, there's some stitches. I will go in between the stitches like this. The reason why I do this is because it's easier to hide so no one can see. It won't come out and you're good to go. And I go back one more time just to be on the safe side. Okay, then you cut that off. And that's that. Now you could do the bottom part as well, where your tail is hanging. I usually don't do the bottom part because I have like a little trick, but I'm not teaching you guys the trick right now. Maybe another time. I won't teach you that right now because right now you just need to worry about the stitches. But for now you could just use your needle and there you go. That's it. That's all you need to do. It doesn't take a long time. It's not like sewing. All you're doing is just taking your yarn and weaving it through the stitches so that it does not come apart. That's all you're doing. And I will go one more time, but instead of going in the same stitch that I just went into, I will go one over, because you don't want to go into that same one and then it'll come out. Okay, and then I will cut that. And there we have it. We just have a little holder, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you what you want. And bam, you're good to go. So, any questions before I let you ladies and gentlemen go? Is there anything else? Do you need me to do? Any other questions? Do we have any other questions? Is this what we are doing today? So that's what I would work on. I will work on how to uh, make your chains a little bit longer. So do like 15, 20. When you do your 15, 20, then you're gonna go up 15, 20. So if you did 15 chains, I will go up 15 rows. If you did 20 chains, then I will go up 20 rows. So it depends. Or you could, if you want to go bigger, you can go bigger. If you want to go a little smaller, you can go a little smaller. It's up to you because this is your project and this is how you're going to learn. My motto is always going to be P2P, practice till perfection. That's the only way you could do it. The thing is, if you still need help, the best thing is to keep going back to the video. And when you keep going back to the video, then, just keep rewinding and until you can get it. If you can't get it, email me. My email address is in the description. And what you can also do is take pictures of all of your work. Because if you take pictures of all your work and email it to me, moms and dads, if you have kids that are trying to learn, take pictures of their work and send it to me because I would love to post it up here. I'll post it up here and I will show everyone your progress. So that is for the evening. I see there's no questions, and we will see you again next Sunday. If I do not have any any pictures sent to my email, then I will know that I may need to do something else because I don't know. If you have any questions, you can email me. Everything is there. There's no way you can reach me. Everything is there in my description below. And I'm gonna see you guys later. Thank you so much for coming to Creative Stitching Diva channel to teach you how to learn how to crochet for kids and for adults. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Click that bell so you know when I'm coming on. And share. Sharing is caring. And I cannot wait to see you again on Sunday. Sunday is our day. So you guys have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know if you're sunny where you at, but it's sunny where I'm at. No, it's not. It's raining. I wish it was sunny.